everyone. Welcome to Thursday Thoughts. Today, we are going to share thoughts on equipment, and we're going to answer some questions that come through to Bakerpedia. But before that, I would like to introduce to you Julio Alves from A&A Baking Solutions. Hi, Julio.
Hi, how's everything? Good?
Very, very good. Thank you for
Awesome.
asking. So, to the people who don't know you very well, can you share a little bit about your experience in the baking industry and what is A&A Baking?
Perfect, thank you. Yes, my name is Julio Aviles. I am fourth generation baker myself, and I've been in the industry since I was a kid. I used to work for ingredient companies, R&D for manufacturing facilities. And now 6 years ago, we started A&A Baking Solutions. A&A's come from Aviles. Aviles is Roberto Aviles and myself. We're cousins, and we are in order to provide the solutions for the baking, not just ingredients, equipment. It's basically to have a package that could help the customer A to Z. This is what we do in A&A Baking Solutions. We're based in Miami.
That is the reason why I invited you on to my Thursday Thoughts, right? Because I know you have the equipment background, and we are actually going to answer some questions today. Are you ready for the first one?
Awesome. Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, so the first one is they're having a problems with wrinkling on top of the buns. How can I stop the top of my buns from wrinkling? So have you seen this problem before?
Yeah,
many times I feel that is too much use of yeast, and they're getting too much oven spring, and too high of a protein quality. So if you're adding gluten, take the gluten out. The more oven spring you have, the more pop you have on the bun, the more it's going to collapse when you stack the buns during packaging. So take out the gluten, reduce the yeast so that you don't get any much of an oven spring. And if you still can't get the oven spring to stop, make sure you use a thermal profiler and stop the yeast kill right at 50% or less. That's going to kill your oven spring. So if you're having wrinkling on the top, it's just too much oven spring. Okay. Now, the next question asks, what equipment should I use to increase my hamburger bun production? So
yes.
Why don't you take this?
Yeah, I'm gonna take this. We have to do an evaluation in your facility to see where your bottleneck is. Basically the most common, the bottleneck we commonly see, it is mixing capacity. Sometimes you don't have enough. You have maybe a very fast divider or dividing device, but you don't have enough dough for the divider to be used in the proper way. Or if that is not the case, if you have enough mixing capacity, then we move to the next step, which is the divider, then the rounder, and the sheeting device, or panning. It's very easy to go over that. We have the opportunity to see individual requests, so we do an assessment together with Bakerpedia. So you just set up with us what time, and we could see your specific need. But most of the time is check the bottleneck.
So we're not like, if somebody wants to increase the output or the production, they don't need to buy the entire line. You're saying that?
Yes, exactly. We could go and do an evaluation to see which one is where you have the lag.
Okay, got it. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, that's great to know, because most people don't understand that that's an option to just buy a mixer or just buy, the dough divider. They feel like they have to buy the whole line. I agree. I disagree with that. I think you buy as you grow. And that's an awesome way to help with your cash flow and to understand whether you have a customer or not, instead of buying a whole new fancy line and then you don't have a customer, or the other way around is you never know if you're going to get a new customer if you can't keep up with the demand, right? So a lot of conversations to be had if you are in a position for equipment upgrade. We, both Julio and I, are offering, a 30-minute free consultation to look into your process to figure out what equipment needs you need. Okay, so we are going to include that link for you to get the free 30-minute consultation. It is going to be below. So just click on that link and send us your name and contact, and we will be in touch. Okay. All right. Let's go on to our next question.
Perfect.
Why do my buns look different from the front of the dough to the end of the dough? What's the
Very
experience,
common.
Julio?
Yeah, it's very common, because it's we start to mix and the temperature is not properly controlled, and then sometimes you mix too much, and you take too long to process. The window to process that dough it's crucial. So even you decrease the temperature, decrease the amount to the time that you could process every like 5 to 8 minutes at the most. I will keep it as close to 5 minutes as possible. And this is what I normally try to do. So if I am able to cut 3,000 pieces in an hour, so I will reduce that for like the amount until I have 5 minutes of window of process.
Right. So to Julio's point, if you can't increase your divider speeds to meet that, 5 minutes, buy an extra dough mixer, so that you can mix more dough at cooler temperatures. I mean, I think one of the biggest issues is when bakers realize that, oh, I can maximize the capacity of my mixer, right? So I'm going to make a big dough and then spend 20 minutes to process it, right? So not only does the big dough have a huge amount of dough to mix, right? It's going to increase your temperature drastically. If you don't have a horizontal mixer and a glycol jacket, there is not enough ice or water you could put in to reduce that temperature. So big doughs are a no-no if you can't process them in 5 to 8 minutes. So go with smaller doughs, go with more mixers to bring the batches down, and make sure that you reach a temperature that doesn't activate your yeast, doesn't activate your oxidation system. So let's talk about the oxidation system. Whenever you're having drastic difference between the beginning of the dough and the end of the dough, it's because your dough batch is too big. Okay, the dough is just sitting there, it's just oxidizing in the dough trough, waiting to be cut up. So number one thing to do is to really reduce the batch size. If you can't reduce the batch size, then reduce your dough oxidizers. Unfortunately, that's the way to go. If reducing your dough oxidizers affects your machinability, tears your dough, then you need to take the oxidizers out of your dough conditioning blend, okay? And dose the oxidizers by itself. So basically, with a hot dough and a long amount of time sitting in a dough trough, you're just activating the dough oxidizers and just really making everything really look bad by the end of, the tail end of the dough. So I hope bakers out there follow this advice and lower down the batch sizes of your dough. Okay. not only do you lower down the temperature, you also increase the output time for the mixers. So you can actually reduce the dough mixing time when you reduce your dough batch. Okay. So again, you know, these are the very common questions that we see every day at Bakerpedia. And many of our bakers reach out to us and ask us, you know, hey, you know, we have this equipment problem. And many times I use the talents of people like Julio to come onto these free consultations to see if he has other equipment solutions to provide. So if you all like the solutions you hear today, please click on the link below and we will get in touch with you on how to solve your product quality and equipment issues. Right, Julio?
Yes, yes, yes. We will always be ready to assist whoever wants with our baker to baker approach. We always look the things with the baker's eyes and we can come back to the solution. It's not try to sell something that you don't need. When, you know, we'll be here for you to assist you guys.
All right. So everyone,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you, Julio. I'll see you again next week on Thursday Thoughts. Bye.
My pleasure. Everyone. Bye.